Hello, beautiful people. For me, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, I would like to make a brief video presentation about the importance of reading for mental health, and more specifically, reading literature. Each May, I make videos about mental health on different topics because I'm a psychiatrist and I'm very interested in mental health like all people and what contributes to it. And I thought, when I read advice about mental health and what is good, I read about lifestyle, proper nutrition, stress management, relationships, art, exercise, but I don't read so much about reading literature. And when you think reading is something specifically human, I was wondering about art. Can animals create art? And indeed, I saw some articles that some animals, if given the right tools like a brush and a paint, can create a painting. Whereas reading, I think, is something entirely human. And it's so important for the brain, for the body, and the soul, and the spirit. And of course, this is known, but I just made a few points to summarize why reading is important for mental health. And then I will share with you some of the books that I'm currently reading. And so, why reading is so important for mental health? Because it reduces stress. When you read an interesting topic, your breathing is more regular, your heart rate is more regular, and you concentrate on what you are reading. If it's something pleasant, it relaxes your mind and the body. And it takes you away from your everyday stressors. And of course, it has cognitive benefits because reading is important for the brain, the mind, and for learning, assimilating new information, and memory. Reading, especially literature, develops the empathy and social skills because reading is looking at someone else's point of view of the world, their experiences, their emotions, and so the more you read, the more you get to recognize the diversity of people and emotions and to appreciate them, and to appreciate what makes them act the way that they do. Some may say that reading will develop resilience and emotional well-being if you read about others' experiences similar to your own and how they have solved them. And this could be fiction or autobiography or self-help books or spiritual literature. Reading can improve sleep. What is more wonderful than to read a book before going to sleep, to calm down and to be transported into what you are reading? And also, very important is that when you read, you can never be lonely. When you have a good book, you always have a friend. And I mentioned briefly that reading helps to solve life problems that may cause stress and could lead to mental health disorders, and how other people have solved the problems that you have. Reading develops your focus. Also, reading about travel or art can be amazing for the brain. If you can't travel, just reading and visualizing distant places, you can dream and travel there. And also about art, this is amazing. You can read about music, paintings, dance, poetry, and it's just such amazing activity that is excellent for mental health. And so I decided when I was writing this that I will make like a book club and will share from time to time what books I'm currently reading, what books made an impression on me, because I think sharing is very helpful. For example, one of the books that I'm currently reading, I learned while sharing the book The Cure for Women in one of my YouTube friend subscribers. Polly recommended the book by Tracy Chevalier, The Lady and the Unicorn, and I'm very happy that she recommended it, and I'm currently reading it. So, after mentioning some of the benefits, and of course you know there may be others, this is not an exhaustive video on all of the benefits of reading for mental health. It is important also what you read, what genre you like. Do you like art or fiction? Science fiction may develop your imagination, creativity. Do you like spiritual literature or self-help books? Children's books are amazing. And I think it is also important whether you read print books or digital literature. In my opinion, the digital literature is very convenient, even sometimes it is more stimulating for the mind, but I think that it has its downsides, and I also read in the literature that others have experienced this. It could place strain on the eyes, the muscles, with tearing of eyes, pain in the muscles in the back, and also it could negatively impact the comprehension. It might lead to diminished focus and more distractions. And I have read that digital books may impact brain activity in a different way than the print books. And so I think that it is good to always read print books. I love them. I love the smell of books, the touch of books, and I think when I read a print book, I relax. Whereas sometimes when I read a digital book, although it is amazing, my eyes strain, my facial muscles strain. And so, now I would like to show you some of the books that I'm reading from the New Rochelle Public Library. I have many of my own books, and I will share them with you in the future videos. But now, some books, wonderful. This is one Because of my love of ballet and dance, I bought this book from the library book sale, and it's about Martha Graham. And I'm enjoying very much reading about her childhood and how she started her dance company. It is just amazing. I was amazed to find out that her dad was also a physician like my dad, and he didn't want her to be a dancer, but she was more persistent than me. Another book that I started reading from the library is Bridgerton, The Duke and I. And so I just started it. It's about a young woman who is very amiable, and so because she's so amiable, she finds difficulties finding a suitable suitor because she doesn't like to play many hard romantic games. But then she meets this Duke Simon, who is not intent on getting married, and so he pretends to be in a relationship with her. I've just started it. I'm enjoying it a lot. Another book is 15 Wild Decembers. I'm very excited about this book. It is about the Bronte sisters, and it has very beautiful nature, and I love nature, and I love also reading about historical fiction, so I'm enjoying this book. I read several books at a time because they're all interesting, and I can't wait to finish one and to start the other. I have this book from the New Rochelle Public Library book sale. I bought it this April, Snow in April, by Rosamund Pilcher, and it takes place in Scotland. It's a romance, and I'm enjoying reading it a lot because I love romance fiction. This is the book, The Lady and the Unicorn by Tracy Chevalier, about these tapestries in the Musée de Cluny in Paris, which is medieval art museum. And Polly, my YouTube subscriber, recommended it, and I'm enjoying it a lot. Thank you, Polly, if you are watching this video. Another book, being in New York, working there, and being blonde, is Bergdorf Blonde. It's not a new book, but I wanted to read it, so I'm enjoying reading it. It's written in a funny style, and when I travel, I love reading it. In another book, which is great, is an autobiography by Bill Gates, The Source Code. I was wondering, I am not very much into mathematics or computers. Would I enjoy this book? But I have to say that I like this book and I enjoy it a lot. I started reading it because I'm in the midst of a job search, and I like reading about accomplished people who have achieved tremendous things. And I enjoyed reading because it's more about Mr. Gates' childhood and his parents, where he comes from, how he grew up. I think it's interesting to see the world from a different point of view Because, for example, he liked mathematics and science as a kid and wasn't very obedient in school, whereas I think about myself, mathematics was not my strong point. I wasn't so much science oriented, and I was very obedient student and did what the teachers and my parents told me. But I enjoyed reading about his mom, who was very motivated to uh, be a good mother and at the same time a good member of the community, which reminds me of my mom, who always wanted the same, to be an excellent mother and also to be very socially involved. And I wonder how they had time for all of this. And so what I also liked from this book is that Bill Gates had an amazing focus even as a child. I think this can be applied in the professional world, that when he was hiking with his friends and was in an unfamiliar territory where he wasn't sure he liked the hike, he was thinking about coding in his own things. And I think if you have such concentration on things you want to achieve, perhaps you will be very successful. And so, this is my introduction, why reading is wonderful for mental health, and some of the books that I'm reading. I look forward to your comments, and I will be sharing more of the books that I read. Thank you and have